Hey everybody, this is gonna be the Tekkaden video. Just before I get into it, just want to let you guys know. Some of you guys have been asking, what do you exactly learn in coaching? How does the coaching take place? And like, what do what do we talk about? So we still talk about everything like matchups, matchup specific questions, how to play the turns, what to watch out for, trading card game in general, like just basic rules. Some of these things right here I've kind of written down. Talk about how to view your deck and percentages and what does like the ratio of cards you're running mean and how many you should run. And then this goes into how to tune your deck, intervals of two, creating space, and ratios of 1/3 and curves. Um, we talk about feelings and facts, basically like what's feelings versus facts on a scale of 1 to 10 and how this helps you improve and improve faster and how it helps you in your tournaments basically. And then we go to tournament preparation. Some people are going to nationals, regionals, new types. They have different metas. Everyone's got different decks they can take or have access to. We talk about how to prepare yourself, how to like, make sure you're ready for it, how to do the best you can, whether you're having anxiety, how to deal anxiety and why anxiety might be good for you. Sometimes holding a good player back from winning a tournament or, just literally losing all their games is the mentality. And some people think about, oh, you should be super, super chill about it. It's like, well, no, if you're trying to win, you shouldn't be super chill about it. Anxiety is actually a good thing. Okay, it's preparing your body to like push you forward. So then we talk about tempo, mid-range, some special techniques and skills that I can teach you to use and become better at that are very important to becoming like a high-end player. There's a bunch more, but that's what I want to share with you guys. You guys can take a read for yourself. And yeah, I do play all the decks as I've mentioned before. And then yeah, let's get into the deck list here. So the deck list, just making sure it's recording. Last time I recorded a video, found out I wasn't recording 47 minutes into it. So here we go. This is the Barbatos deck that you guys were asking for. This is a obviously IBO, I believe it's called, is a it's got a pretty large fan base. So immediately going into this, you guys are gonna see this card is in the deck, and then you're gonna ask yourself, oh, I didn't think about running this, or I haven't seen other people run this. And I think this is a key card. Number one, we don't exactly have many pilots we want to run with Mikazuki. And this is a 2/2 stat line, which is perfect for us. And its ability is to mill things, which is also perfect for our deck because we finally have a actual, almost like an end game boss monster slash swing zero slash something that plays differently than all the other decks in the game in Barbatos Lupus. So that's going to go in the deck. We are running 4 copies of this because we are going to be milling ourselves. When we're milling our own deck, they're going to go to the graveyard. But that's okay because we run 4 copies and we run show results for this reason as well. So before I go into like, if this is all you want to see, the deck list, this is the deck list. There's definitely things I'll be talking about in cards that um, that were in here that I took out at the last minute for this video, as well. So just give you a brief overview of how this deck's trying to operate is, we're trying to put bodies on the floor and then smash into our opponent's shields. Our opponent will be forced into smashing into our units and thus taking damage, thus requiring less damage to be finished off. And then we're good at trading as well with either ping damage or our Barbatos +1 AP on the 4th form helps out. So we added in some Grace customs to the early game just to prevent aggro, but also because usually in decks like this that are mid-rangey with some top end here to close out games, we don't want to run as many early game cards, or we can run 0 pretty much. The reason why I'm running Grace Custom in particular is because we actually do want it in the graveyard. So it dying does mean that we get to use it later on as a resource. So having it there is nice so we can just play it out, let it die, don't not be worried about it, and then keep going as a resource. So this gives us a value in the grave as well. In terms of value, I just tell my clients that when you're playing against a Tekkaden deck, or you're playing it yourself, just consider that every single unit you have in the graveyard, just put it as 1 damage. It's not gonna do the 1 damage, but think of it as that's 1 damage, and that will help you dictate like should I kill something? Should I hit the shields and funnel the graveyard? And how many cards am I going to put in the graveyard? This is more for your opponent or if you're playing into the Tekkaden deck to just get a grasp of how deep in the water you are and make the game easier for you to understand what the risk is of attacking their shields, putting more units into the grave for Barbatos to ping off. Okay, so we're playing this early game unit. We're playing this guy. This guy again, funneling our cards. This is our mini overflowing. But it also combos with our deck, so it's basically overflowing for us. Another early game unit to basically go off and hit the graveyard and then funnel our grave with extra cards. The targets we're looking to discard are pretty much going to be our fourth form and our third form. Our main two targets, and then sometimes we'll discard the Graves custom if we're like on turn 4 or 5 or something. We can just discard anything we like. Sometimes a pilot, but honestly, we don't really discard pilots. Extra bases are fine. Um, but mostly it's just gonna be this guy, and then sometimes it's this guy right here for the ping. We like to keep our blockers in our hand, and the 5/4 is a very good trading piece, so we like to keep that as well. Um, Especially when we consider that this is a 5 damage that combos with our ping or our lupus ping. So then we go to first form. This is great. We play this on, as soon as we can. In normal purple decks, I would say hold on to this so you can get the draw value. But in our deck, whether we get the draw or not, it's still going to get value from the graveyard. And we are basically, if it does hit the board, we can then ping it with most of our cards here. And our pilot can go on top of this and then make it beefy again, so it basically isn't going to get removed. If our opponent tries to remove this early on, that's okay because we're not trying to draw infinite cards and get insane value out of this or aggro our opponent down. What we're trying to do actually is not win by aggro like the blue purple deck. We're trying to win with Lupus hitting the board. And once Lupus hits the board, it's basically going to act as a wing zero or board wipe. It gets about on usually it will probably get on a normal play about 3 activations immediately. Usually, if you are having a good game where you hit your bases and your units are dying and you're playing a lot of your draw discard cards, you're gonna see this activate about 4 to 5 times instead. On the turn that it's deployed, or like on turn 8. Usually you deploy it on turn 7, but sometimes you deploy on turn 8 depending on what your hand is. Um, and then as the game goes on, you're probably gonna get, at least 10 damage out of this card. Usually, I usually get about 8 to 10 damage out of this per game, which is really, really good. It might honestly be higher than that, but I'm just guessing at the moment. Not guessing, but estimated guess. Okay, so then we move on to these cards. Now, the main thing I want to talk about with these two cards is, sorry, not these two cards, right? People are going to be asking me, why am I not playing the other Tekkaden card that everyone else is playing? So, number one, they're going to ask me, why am I not playing this guy right here? So, Rowie or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it, but why am I not playing this card? Well, number one, we're not playing other Taiwas or Tekkaden pilots. It is a 3/4 stat line, which I adore. The issue with the 3/4 stat line, same with Academy cards, is that when you include the 3 cost in the top left hand corner, this changes everything. We have so many 2-cost cards that we're trying to play here that adding more 2-cost cards basically makes the deck better and run more smoothly, and this helps us curve everything out perfectly. We can play on turn 6. We can play a 4-cost and a 2-cost. We can play double 3-cost that we hold on to. On turn 4, we can play 2 of these, and any other odd turns we can kind of play multiple of these and a pilot, or just one of these and a pilot on turn 3, or this and a base. Usually this card right here, plus the Barbatos helps you play your turn 3 curve. Now, one of the things is, this is the reason. So in GD02, I was like, well, for this card to become playable, right, we need to get cards that activate when we hurt ourselves. That's what this is designed to do. Otherwise, they would have just made this in a 3/3 vanilla and give it some other ability, or made it a 3/4 ability that pings itself for 1 and pings something else for 1 or something like that, right? Basically, they would have made this card. This card is essentially this card. Same cost, same everything, just different stats with a different ability. Okay, that's what they would have made. They made this one instead. It has a Tekkaden link trait, so it can link with any Tekkaden cards if you decide to play them. which is fine. But this is gonna combo with our card right here. The other reason why I'm playing this guy over this guy is I don't really want to hurt my other units all the time, and giving myself the extra AP doesn't really matter. It's nice, and I played the mirror match a lot of times. In fact, I played against somebody yesterday, and after they tried rematching me 3 times, they basically just AFK'd and like rage quit the game. So if you're watching this video, well, I apologize, but you should, just forfeit and then move on instead of leaving the game on for like another 2 minutes, making me wait for you to quit. We all know people do that online. It's really scummy. So yeah. So we got the Barbatos right here. So that's why I play it. That's why I don't play this one, because the cost really hurts me, and I really want my cost to be nice. Then we talk about the second form. Okay, the second form is a card I really really liked in GD02, and I thought this was one of the best cards in the starter deck, and I still really really like it. It's kind of money. Um, the reason why we're not playing this is because we don't have a lot of room in the deck, and you could easily replace this with the third form. But I'm trying to maximize my base here to try and use it all the time. The other thing is, this card, I don't want to attack with it because it only attacks for 2. This card attacks for 3 base, so I'm kind of valuing the extra damage I get out of this guaranteed, then valuing the 4 damage this would do when it's pinged, okay? That's pretty much what is going on here. I am essentially just deciding to take the more um, baseline better stats and not having to ping it. And then it also automatically combos with my base. And there's been games where I want to keep cycling through my deck and fill up my graveyard as much as possible instead of having to have this card in my hand, then have a second card to ping. I've only had this card in my hand, and so this turn has been really, really good for me. And that's why I'm playing it. I want to just maximize, and some of the games do come down to me having like that one more unit in my graveyard, so I can use Lupus's effect one more time. Lupus is strongest the turn it is played because it gets immediate, like the more activation you get out of Lupus the first time you play it, the better it is. And I honestly, you only play one Barbatos Lupus a game. One of them's gonna go to your graveyard for milling it. The other one's gonna be in your shields. You're not gonna see the last one, so you're only gonna really have one in your hand. That's gonna get its abilities off. And by the time it's done using all your graveyard, the second one, if you even do play it, is not gonna be able to do anything with this ability most games. Okay. Um, and the games usually end once we get this on the board. Like once we get this on the board, blow up the whole board, the game is coming to an end in a couple of turns, either with suppression, and that's why we're playing these next 2 cards. Okay, so rebuke, rebake, again for the base, for the ping damage, for the blocker. This guy pinging something and then putting this pilot onto it is huge. A 5/7 blocker. Now a lot of things just can't get through to you. It's gonna stick around a lot more. It cannot be armor rate anymore, and it it's just great. Okay, so we're playing this with the pilot as well. Really good card. Then we have this card. A lot of people don't like this card. A lot of YouTube videos I saw that were doing tier lists said this card was unplayable. It was garbage. I completely disagree. You guys have been watching my content. You guys know that the level 5 3-cost stat line is amazing because it gives you a 5/4 body. A 5/4 body, usually with a link, which this thing has, is insane. This card is as strong as Barbatos Lupus, okay, in terms of stats. So I rather draw this card than another Lupus when I don't have the ability to be activated because it costs a lot less, half the cost, literally. I can play multiple of these a turn, okay? If you guys have all played blue a lot, you guys know that sometimes you have 2 short resolves in your hand, but it's like, oh, do I play two short resolves right now to get them out of my hand, draw a bunch of cards, but then I do nothing on the board, and I'm probably gonna like, take a bunch of damage. Well, this card is basically just gonna come on the board, play 2 of these, be really, really strong. It works the same way as playing 2 of these Barbatoses or playing 2 of these or these in the same turn, right? And then just being really, really strong. And that's what it's there for. It can one-shot a Kshatriya Link. Anything with 5 HP is going to kill. And once you combine this in purple with the 1 damage ping, this thing's going to take out anything with 6 health, which is pretty much anything in the game. If you're trying to deal with an O, well, if you play this card, you swing this guy into O, that does 5 damage. And all you got to do is, well, if it's hurt already, it's going to die. If it's not hurt, you can play any of these other cards and just basically ping it right? Ping it twice, you can finish it off. You can play fourth form, give this guy an extra AP, swing for 6, finish something off. It's really, really good. So this is just our vanilla beat stick. It's excellent, and it links, which is also really good. Um, we don't need to play a link pilot to kill a linked unit. We can just play this and then swing and take out something big. It also is really good into like the mirror match, kills rebake, and other like 5 defensive blockers like Ale Strike and things. So it's really, really nice. Try it out. I love these cards in a lot of decks. These are basically our upgraded Rizels as we go, as Gundam gets more cards. This is really, really good. This is here to end games. Okay, the extra AP effect is fine. It again combos with the base that we're really trying to funnel. This card gets discarded as our pitch outlet for Reisui. I don't know how to say this guy. Ryu. And this is here to end games. One of the things going to GD03 you're gonna have to realize is that there's a lot of these purple decks are gonna try to end games with suppression, and you're not gonna have the time to come back like you did in GD01 or 2 against like blocker decks or against wing. It's like, oh, he's hitting me, he's got wing on the board. I have like 4 or 5 shields left, everything's fine. Well, not anymore. Suppression is gonna come and hit you for 2. Another guy's gonna hit you. You lost 3 shields. If you don't do something about it, you're gonna be at 0 shields next turn. If not, you're gonna be dead, right? So Barbatos is really, really strong for us. And it's a 4/5 body, which means they have to hit it with a lot of damage. And in the mirror match, it's going to survive against 3 pings from Lupus instead of just dying by 2 pings, okay? Um, Now, we are playing a lot of these 4 body units as we go into the later stages of the game because we don't want to be affected by Wing 0 as much. We don't want to be affected by the new 3 damage pings. We're still playing purple and we need some of these early game cards, but all these early game cards are kind of like utility, except for Gray's Custom. These are all utility cards that we get to play early out. So if they get to ping damage with close combat or finish it off with gun tanks, we're happy with that because they're not going to be pinging off our late game units. And these guys, we already know they're going to be like almost like cannon fodder. We get as much as we can out of them and then they die. It's not a big deal, right? So we're okay with it. If Wing Zero kills these guys, it is what it is. This guy too, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this card is really, really good. We're playing 4 copies of this now because we're playing a mid-range, a true, Tekkaden deck. Not that early blue, purple aggro deck that people are playing. That's not even a Tekkaden deck. That's just a, I'm gonna kill you because the Gundam game as a design is, flawed in that sense. Okay, now let's talk about Lupus. Okay, this is an awesome unit. This is game-changing unit. When you're playing against a Tekkeden deck now, you have to play around this card. You have to now start counting. One of my clients asked the question of, are people just trolling me? Sorry, losing my voice. Are people just trolling me when they're asking me how many cards I have in my hand or how many cards I have in the graveyard, right? And I'm like, no, they're not stalling or trying to troll you or anything like that or get you mind games. They really are trying to ask you. And as we get more cards like Lupus, they're going to be asking you that question a lot more often, because they want to get more information about what is left in your graveyard and how many times can you activate this ability, right? This ability is really, really powerful. And if you're going to play against this deck, remind yourself this guy's going to get his ability off at least 4 to 8 times a game, depending on how long the game goes and depending on how much he's dedicating himself into the purple archetype and Tekkaden than he is into the like blue gun tank and auctions and stuff and Amros. For Plasma Kazuki, nothing to really say about this. Actually, there's one thing to say about this. Play this card as a ping damage and as damage and linking. Do not worry about linking this with Barbatos. Do not worry about linking it with Lupus. This is a, as soon as you can get value out of this, out of Mikazuki, play Mikazuki, okay? Do not hold this in your hand. Do not be upset that it is in your graveyard. This deck operates completely free of pilots, okay? All of our pilots are just utility. This is just utility to deal 2 to 3 damage to something with its attack and then the ping damage. This card right here is just utility to funnel cards into our graveyard and then it gives us stats. That is it. We don't need these cards to link and swing, right? The most powerful link we have is Mikazuki with suppression. That's like literally it. And then Barbatos is nice to do to ping with it and get cards. But play this card and keep up on the tempo and make your opponent answer you. And then once they start using all the resources to clear your board, Lupus comes in, annihilates everything they have, and they can't just play down like Zakutus and stuff because Lupus will kill it. even a Gundam Amuro. They can't just play a Gundam Amuro. We will ping it off the board if we have enough resources left over. Generally, once you play this card, ping everything, you will get back to like having 2 more activations to deal 4 damage out of this card. So just be aware of that and plan for it. Okay, the next thing people are gonna ask me, this base, why this base than the other base? Well, I tried the other base first, and the other base is really good. Okay, the purple base. Let me go to it. Not the Tekkaden base. It is the Vulture base. So the Vulture base, this one. So number one, if we're applying pressure, we're not taking hits a lot, so we're not gonna be putting cards into the graveyard. Now you could put more of these in the deck if you wanted to, but you don't need to. One of the upsides of this is being able to play this really early on for only cost being a level 2 card. After playtesting, this base is just better because we are applying pressure and we're trying to utilize this base as much as possible. We get activations out of this probably a lot more often in more games, especially when your opponent is playing blockers, and we can just really get a lot of juice out of this. That is why we're playing this one over this one, and then the theme of it as well, if you like being on theme. The last card I want to talk about is why are we playing Show Resolve over Overflowing, right? I got feedback, people saying, oh, you should definitely play Overflowing Affection. It's so good. It's so good. Well, it does cycle and it does get cards to the graveyard faster. I agree with that. But when you play Lupus, you kind of like hit your ceiling and you kind of stall out where you only have maybe 2 or 3 cards left in your hand, 2 or 3 turns left of the game, and you will run out of gas against those like really tanky decks that have like Freedom Gundams and O's and stuff, and they're just playing more and more like 4 or 5 HP bodies. Because you're gonna run out of gas, you're gonna eventually lose the game, right? Especially if your opponent is, let's say, still pretty healthy, like 4 or 5 shields left, you're not gonna be able to get through them and win the game. So for that reason, we're gonna be playing Show Resolve to keep cards coming to us. And number two, what happens is if we're gonna mill our Lupus, like I said, you're only gonna see one of this a game, almost like a Wing Zero, right? We're all familiar with Wing Zeros. Usually only see one a game, especially because it's not a pilot. It's not gonna burst to our hand from our shields, so it's gonna go to the grave. We are most likely only gonna see one of these in our hand. If we see two, we're probably gonna discard the second one with our discard outlets. Okay. So we're playing Show Resolve to once we hit that mid to late game, we are we're gonna stop playing cards that discard the top of our deck because we need to play lots of shows and draw into the Lupus. Okay, so make a much better calculated decision to up your odds and be like, I cannot mill right now because if I mill my second Lupus, I'm not gonna see another one. So I need to save my mills for later and start playing shows, start playing draw cards to get the Lupus in my hand, and once I have one in my hand, then I'm going to discard the rest of my deck, not caring about it. Okay, so be careful about it, and this is why we're playing Show Resolve over Overflowing. It gives us card advantage, which means we have more cards to play, which means more cards going to end up in the graveyard, and then we have a stabilizing piece in Show Resolve. By having more cards, we can kind of keep the game going and be happy with ourselves. Yeah, that's pretty much why we're playing Show Resolve over Overflowing Affection. I think this card is better overall. We know how powerful Show Resolve is. We want to up the amount of advantages, card advantage we have in a game, and that's why it's key. I played the white variant. I think this one's better. I played the mirror match so many times, and me having more cards makes me win the game, and me having more cards in the graveyard with this card and playing like this engine here and playing some of these different picks like this guy right here lets me funnel Lupus and then blow my opponent out. Okay. Then the final thing. This is a cool tech piece right here. So if you guys want to get your alt arts now, go ahead and grab them while they're cheap. Because this card is really good in this deck for just more mills and then making sure that all your units are +2 stats, right? On this guy, on anything you want. Having a way of getting our Lupus to a 7/7 to one-shot the O is very powerful. Um, okay, having the blocker, having any of our early game units like First Form, being able to give it a lot more stats and keep it around a lot longer so it doesn't get gun tanked and Angshed. And then if you have something like a Grace Custom in your hand, but you know your opponent's playing Wing, You can play the Grace custom, put the pilot onto it, make it a 4/4, and now all of these like early game cards don't die to Wing Zero, which could be the difference in winning or losing the game. That's why we're playing this. It's really, really good. And if you guys are interested in Vagan, the Vagan deck, I'm probably not going to be making a video about it. Maybe I will. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. The main thing I found about Vagan is you don't need to funnel your graveyard. You just want to play a normal game, and as cards end up in the graveyard, your abilities will activate by default because you will remove those cards. Okay, so that's kind of how I think Vagan should be playing. So if you're interested in purple or Vagan, right, then just um I can show you the deck list here real quick for you guys watching this. The Vagan deck list is Vagan Drink Blood right here. So take a look at this. This is what I'm playing right now. We're playing this super nice red package. So we're defensive against aggro decks, so if they hit our shields, we can kill them immediately. And then I took out a lot of like the other Vagan stuff, and we're pretty much just playing simple dudes that play a very basic game of play a guy, hit our opponent, and then we're gonna play this one to gain some nice value off killing our opponent, and we are going to basically, play the rest of these cards as we do, get our units back from the grave, this one, and that's kind of it. That's kind of it. And then once we're done with doing our Ragan mid-rangey stuff, because we don't have any LRs or any end game, we're gonna play the G-Quox for the big damage suppression, and then a bunch of these burn spells to help us out in the early game, but also in that mid game, and then also as a shield defensive mechanism of bursting. We're gonna burst and slow down the aggro matchup, and that's gonna help us actually have a winning chance against aggro in particular. So yeah, going back to the Tekkaden deck, um, this card pilot's really good. If you guys have any questions about this deck or concerns, or you have your own ideas, let me know in the comments. If you guys are wanting to reach out for coaching, I'll share my Discord on screen right here. Coach Wing Zero. Okay, Coach Wing Zero. Right here, you guys can add me. It's hiding it because I'm in streamer mode. But the username is Coach Wing Zero. I'm also on the server, a Gundam TCG server, so you guys can just type in my name and find me. Here's some testimonials for you guys to look at. I've coached a bunch of people on this. Lots of reviews. I keep asking my clients to post these reviews so everybody can know that I am legit and I've been doing this for a long time. I was thinking about making a video um, about me, how I got started, so people can actually understand what I do. Here's some Gundam TCG coaching right here at the end here. So, okay, here's a Gabs went 7-2 at the regionals, and so on. His buddy went and got second place at regionals, super excellent with the same deck pretty much. So let me know if you guys like this video, how you guys feel about my build in particular. Go test it out for yourselves. Message me privately or in the comment section if you guys would like coaching from me. The more I get coaching, more clients I get for coaching, the more I can keep doing this, the more I can provide you guys with more content about, new decks, updating the clan deck, updating the wing deck. I made a wing video even though I play wing a lot. So here's the second build for you guys. It's all been tested. I've been undefeated in the mirror match. Uh, okay. I've been winning a lot of games. It's gonna struggle against, some decks. You're not gonna win every single game in Gundam, but this is where I'm at. This is what's working for me. Um, so go ahead and enjoy it. Thank you.